Hello, everyone, and welcome back to some more Disco Elysium. Where last we were here, we were exploring this abandoned fort, or to see if you can find any evidence of the shooting. If I remember correctly, we need to go outside and look for fuel. So I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna do some more exploring first. Interesting. Money and drugs. Always good to have. Okay, what can we find out? The ghosts of a revolution, I guess. Anything else of interest? Ah, shit. I forgot I can't run because we got shot. So of course, I'm gonna run. Is there anything of interest over here? Can we go there? Nope. Okay.
A strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea, leave it all, and walk in.
Sometimes it do be like that.
In the rain mirror of the bay, you see Martinez reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water, like shimmering towers. And the shacks too. Pine trees and motor lorries, upside down. Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front of you. Go, step in. It's been too long. Perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you.
Nah, 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 nah. No. Strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for systems of governance. Do not trust people that are under the water.
Where it has always been. Smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal. Maybe you know it's going to hurt. Yes, cold and still. But love is warm, like the inside of her mouth.
No, 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 no,
Yes,
no, no,
yes,
no, no.
yes, yes. No, we're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over.
Okay. Let's reopen our wound running up the hill. More stuff.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
This looks like a good place to aim from.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns. And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Druan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grad. Tio Moteri is favored by older men for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar.
So the same brand of cigarettes extinguished in Land's End.
Could be a coincidence. Or the same person has visited Land's End and here. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Or a sniper's nest, which would explain all of the cigarettes. 'Cause he'd be here for a while, waiting for the perfect shot.
Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B. The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area. The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop, the upstairs window of Clausia's room, in the rain, reflecting light.
Motherfucker.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that,
With a pair of binoculars, I could see inside the window.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
cheek against a cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
I mean, I could not make the
I
shot.
think we have it. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
Master cop work.
It's only moderately effective cop work until we have the weapon. It will not be, how do you say it, booyah, until we have that.
Could the shooter still be here?
Where?
In
I
Martinez.
have always assumed it's someone local. We should move now.
Fuel canister. More exploring to do. Also, we have books to read. The Man from Heimdall and the Devil Woman. This should be interesting.
The edges of the pages are worn and smudged. A lot of people have read about the Devil Woman's altercations with the Heimdall Man. The jacket copy proclaims, Man from Heimdall returns in his most exciting adventure yet. After crashing into a strange jungle, cannibalistic natives abduct his only surviving comrade, Noble Tiribold. Before Man from Heimdall can mount a rescue,
Ah, yes. Totally not racist, cannibalistic natives.
he is ambushed by a tribe of female warriors and taken to the ancient citadel of Cloud City, where a mysterious and wicked queen rules supreme. Will Man from Heimdall be able to escape his dire situation and find his missing friend? You open the book to a random page. Man from Heimdall, wielding his 2 Zweihanders, is carving through a sea of savages, his visage fixed in grim determination. His arms, whirling like windmills, are soaked with the blood of his enemies. Mangled corpses litter the battlefield. Good God, this is some retrograde stuff. When was this shit written? You flip to the copyright page. This book was written in 38.
Let's give this shot this advance.
Berserker rage burns in his azure-hued eyes as he brings glory and honor to his long-lost Heimdall tribe. From the village of Heimdall, the ivory giant roars like an ice bear, and the winds of Gatla howl out his name.
Sure, let's read more.
Man from Heimdall rides on a gilded griffin, his golden mane billowing in the breeze. Both Zweihanders sheathed on his back, He is off to war. Will he conquer his enemies? Will he conquer himself? The steel muscles of man from Yeomdal gleam in the humid jungle air. Yet the man does not sweat. In meditation, his soul drifts in the frigid northlands he calls home.
This is probably going to be. I'm going to regret this decision, but let's really get into this
A
book.
passage reads, "The man from Yeomdal looks up, his eyes blue as the mountain lakes of his homeland. He rarely speaks, but now his voice booms in the darkened throne room. Do not try to sap my masculine essence,
Oh, for
wicked
fuck's
temptress.
sake.
Son of Yeomdal will never succumb to your seductive wiles.
God, this is bad.
Thine spells are no match for purity and strength of will. Brothers of Yeomdal, stand above the vices of flesh, for it is weak and corruptible, yet mine is forged in gore and strife." Queen Lydiana just laughs, a sultry and salacious sound. Then "I have grand plans for you, man from Yeomdal." She gestures her diabolical hand toward an array of potions and unguents. "First, you shall please me. Then lead my armies against the vicious cannibals. Not a muscle moves in the face of the man from Yeomdal. Yet inside, there is turmoil. This goes against all he holds sacrosanct.
This women sell shit.
This is beyond primitive."
Yep. Keep hoping it'll get better, but writing is terrible and repetitive.
What do you even know about literature? Have you ever read a book in your life?
Of course I have. Plenty. Excuse me, I know a thing or two about critical analysis and art.
Write a thesis. Man from Yeomdal is done with you.
Fine, I'm done with Man from Himdall. Okay, what's this? Dick Mullen.
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch. The cover features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. The tagline reads, "Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen." That seems to sum up the premise nicely.
Shit, was it me?
Needless to say, it violates nearly every RCM regulation for a detective to investigate a murder in which he is a suspect.
Where's your suspension of disbelief?
Are you really reading that, detective?
Of course. I must know. I'm looking for advice on being a real detective.
Well, you won't find it in there. Those books are much more about ravishing dames and gunplay than real police work.
The story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who's come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to a small town along the Insulindium coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he's asked, then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights. An extremely unprofessional and hurtful stereotype that's offensive to all upstanding officers of the law.
I need to read some more living it. I can't judge.
2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullen dropped him off in by a man matching Mullen's description. Desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vespa police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence.
But they released their main suspect so you can find the real killer. Are you shitting me?
What's the matter, detective?
I don't know who's writing this shit, but I get the feeling they aren't experts on homicide investigations.
The lieutenant shrugs, resigned to the idea that his profession will rarely, if ever, be accurately represented in art and literature. They're not shitting you, detective. This is what the writers think passes for police procedure. Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullin returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana Denerva. Denerve reveals that she was Spillane's lover and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullin begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel. Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead.
Tell me more about this corrupt police captain.
Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested man who's beaten his share of suspects to pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring. He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Is it possible that he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder?
Want to hear about the politician's son?
A typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration. The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullin's manly build, but he is the correct height, and while interrogating him at his home, Mullin did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own.
And what was this about an art collector?
Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way Spillane got did. That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullin discovers that Torvald was once involved with Diana Denerve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle? One evening, Diana Denerve comes to Mullin's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms. Well, that testimony won't be admissible any longer.
Yep, certainly will not. How does he expect to solve this murder if he's sleeping with a witness?
The man's a prosecutor's nightmare. Solving a murder counts for nothing if all the evidence gets thrown out in court over police misconduct.
I'm much better than this. I just harass the witnesses.
That's just Dick Mullin's modus operandi. He might bend the rules, but he closes cases like no one else can.
Maybe the story will turn around.
As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Diana Denerve turns to Mullin and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you. Always aim for the center of mass." Whatever it is, Mullin never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly. When Mullin comes to, Denerve is dead on the hostel bed next to him. To make matters worse, his clothes are covered with her blood.
Double fuck.
Mullin trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of hours before the cops discover Denerve's body, if they haven't been tipped off already. Fleeing a crime scene, destroying evidence. Even if Detective Mullin didn't commit the murder, he should be facing years behind bars.
Yep.
Dick Mullin won't be sent to the clink for the sake of some legal niceties. The heat is on. If Dick Mullin can't solve both murders before the cops catch up to him, he's going away for life. Can you solve the case before the cops close in?
I got some questions first.
What is it, Detective?
Why does everyone close to Dick end up dead?
It's a dangerous line of work, but somebody has to do it. That's why Dick Mullin never lets anyone get too close.
Why did he become a detective in the first place?
There was never a time when he wasn't a detective. He was born a detective.
Was I not born to be a detective?
For a moment, you cease to read the story on the page and see the book for what it is. A collection of brittle, cheaply printed pages held together by glue made from the hooves of horses. From nowhere, you hear the screech of sneakers on a waxed floor, and you feel the burn of rope against your hands. Are these figments of some other life? You won't find the answers you're looking for here, in other words.
Sort of vibes, so the world is so evil.
Is it really so evil, detective?
These are the end times we're living in.
Then why are you still here?
Because I don't want to let Kim down.
Just make sure you don't lose him. You'll not find another like him. It's true in more ways than you know. But then, what does this book know? It's just a poorly made piece of pulp garbage made to be consumed and discarded. So, who did it, detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve?
Both different twats, son.
Could be. Who knows? Only one way to find out. You begin furiously flipping through pages. Even as you know these books follow a series of well-worn tropes, you find yourself completely engrossed. You're turning pages so fast, you don't even notice the ancient spine coming unglued. You try to grab the pages as they come loose, but your fingers aren't quick enough. They're gone.
Bookseller, you sold me a shite book.
Dozens of pages scatter across the ground. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost. It's possible that you could gather and reassemble the pages, but it would take way too long.
Stupid old art school.
Ah, yes. The problem with mass-market paperbacks. They are not made to last.
But I just bought it.
Perhaps this is a sign that you should get back to solving your own murder, huh, detective?
But that's not fun.
In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity.
Sake. Selling me a defective book. I shall be writing a letter of complaint.
The console is powered off and covered in dust. Eugene.
I need to go up, right? Yeah.
This old cylindrical generator. The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch. The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
Okay. Time to see what the buttons do.
A dim golden glow animates the console. Faint, like a ghost light. Urgence ouvert reads one dial key. Allumer reads another.
It's on. Turn emergency open.
Automatic boot. The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
Fantastic. Okay, we don't need it to open all the way, just enough for us to go in.
After you. I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
What if we get into another fight?
Don't worry. I have a gun.
Yeah, we had guns last time. I also have a
I
gun.
know. It was not easy to acquire.
Why'd you have to rub it on my face like that, Kim? Guy does one mistake. Whomst among us have never lost our service pistol? Go left, so we gotta go right. Hmm. Motherfucker with a rifle.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
Are you fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Did you recently tell two kids to put out the fire?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position sounds like a hiding place.
Does he think he's still fighting the revolution?
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
Yeah, probably. You pretend your eyesight.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
Did you close the bath's door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
The way you're supposed to. Fuel the generator and then you use the
I
console.
should have burned that console down.
How'd you know I was coming?
The boat engine. On the water.
Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Is it a Bell Margrave?
It's a 3-Angong 446.
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must be defunct too. No modern rifle manufacturer of that name springs to mind.
A Samaran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
Sinyao Commune?
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from the board.
He's right. Almost no one remembers there was a third metastasis of the world revolution in the Safre Empire, extinguished in '06.
Not wiped out from the board. I remember it.
They wouldn't like hearing their name in your mouth. Damn dog.
That would be fair.
The time will come to win his trust, comrade. It is not now. You need to take care of the gun first.
The weapon has straight through to you, mine has to me.
Yes, I bet you've killed a lot of people with it. You fascist fuck.
I'm not a fascist.
Have you come to make me one of them?
His right eye twitches. With what? Fear? Rage?
Well, we will have to find that out in the next episode. Thank you all so very much for watching. As always, I have been Pope. Please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time.